HarperCollins presents The Fall of Númenor and Other Tales from the Second Age of Middle-earth, edited by Brian Sibley and compiled from The Lord of the Rings, The Silmarillion, Unfinished Tales, volumes from The History of Middle-earth by Christopher Tolkien, and other sources. Read by Brian Sibley and Samuel West. Then all listened while Elrond in his clear voice spoke of Sauron and the Rings of Power, and their forging in the second age of the world long ago. A part of his tale was known to some there, but the full tale to none. And many eyes were turned to Elrond in fear and wonder, as he told of the elven smiths of Eregion, and their friendship with Moria, and their eagerness for knowledge, by which Sauron ensnared them. For in that time he was not yet evil to behold, and they received his aid and grew mighty in craft, whereas he learned all their secrets, and betrayed them, and forged secretly in the mountain of fire the one ring to be their master. But Celebrimbor was aware of him, and hid the three which he had made. And there was war, and the land was laid waste, and the gate of Moria was shut. Then, through all the years that followed, he traced the ring. But since that history is elsewhere recounted, even as Elrond himself set it down in his books of lore, it is not here recalled. For it is a long tale, full of deeds great and terrible, and briefly though Elrond spoke, the sun rode up the sky, and the morning was passing ere he ceased. Of Númenor he spoke, its glory and its fall, and the return of the kings of men to Middle-earth out of the deeps of the sea, borne upon the wings of storm. About this book.
The Fall of Númenor seeks to present in a single volume selections from J.R.R. Tolkien's posthumously published writings about the Second Age of Middle-earth. This book would not have been possible without the extraordinary literary achievements of Christopher Tolkien, who introduced readers of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings to the rich legacy of myth and history from both the Elder Days and Second Age. This he achieved through his long years of dedicated curatorial stewardship, editing, assembling, compiling and providing invaluable commentary to his father's many manuscripts and drafts. It was in the pages of the Silmarillion, Unfinished Tales, volumes of the History of Middle-earth and other works, as edited and prepared for publication by Christopher Tolkien, that the story was first told of the fall of Númenor, the rise of Sauron, the forging of the Rings of Power, and the last alliance of elves and men against the Dark Lord of Mordor. The intention is not to supplant these works, as each already stands as the definitive presentation of J.R.R. Tolkien's writings, with peerless, insightful commentary and analysis by Christopher Tolkien, but rather to provide extracts from these books, with as few editorial interventions as possible, that illustrate, in the author's own words, the rich and tumultuous events of the Second Age, as summarized by J.R.R. Tolkien in his The Tale of Years, Chronology of the Westlands, which appears as part of Appendix B in The Lord of the Rings. For those wishing to delve deeper into its history, the text is accompanied by editorial notes, many of which draw upon Christopher Tolkien's own invaluable editorial expertise by reproducing or quoting from his own notes to the original published sources, to aid their explorations as they seek to discover more about the Second Age of Middle-earth. Page references relate in all cases to the first edition of that work, with the exception of The Lord of the Rings, where reference is made to the reset edition published in 2004 for the book's 50th anniversary. The selected passages and extracts are arranged following the chronological year order set down in the Tale of Years, Chronology of the Westlands, and are presented in chapters titled to accord with this chronology. This presentation has been augmented by two other sources: the names and dates of the Númenorian kings given in Appendix A, Annals of the Kings and Rulers, again in The Lord of the Rings, and the line of Elros, Kings of Númenor, as found in Unfinished Tales Part 2, The Second Age. The events of the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?